Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I'm going to continue with crystals that I love. There's no shortage of crystals on the market, and there's no shortage of you being able to find one that you love that's very special to you. I have had a wonderful relationship with crystals for probably the past 30 years. I started collecting maybe 30 years ago. I got fascinated, first of all, just by the stones in the garden that had mica attached to them, and the peach quartz that I was digging up. I actually found a peach quartz of a heart in my central island, and it stayed with me for a long, long time, and then it disappeared. And I'm going to cover that same quality today, because the one of the very first stones that I purchased, that I didn't find, but that I purchased, was a Labradorite. And you can probably see the colors in the Labradorite. They might range from a, a yellow to a brilliant blue and aquamarine, and just absolutely amazing. So this stone was the stone that I first purchased, this piece of Labradorite. I had it for about 10 years, and all of a sudden it disappeared. And I knew no one was in the house. I knew that it was that it just disappeared of its own volition. And the thing that I absolutely that just hurt me so bad about it disappearing is that it's a stone of magic. It's a stone of protection. It helps us with our clairvoyance, our telepathy, it helps us to astral travel. It helps us with prophecy, with psychic readings, with the Akashic records, with past life recall, and it's also the entrance to the fairy kingdom. So it was truly a very, very important stone in my life. And wearing earrings of Labradorite will also help you hear your guides, will help you hear the spirit guides that are around you, and will amplify their voice. So when this little guy disappeared for me, and if you turn it upside down like this, it almost, just very, very slightly, resembles the map of Michigan, the state that that I was raised in. I was born in Poland, but raised in Michigan, and I had this wonderful, experience in Michigan, but then left at the age of 21 and never have lived there again. But I'm finding out many, many things about Michigan now that I never knew before, and they are truly magical. But when this stone disappeared, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders. And first of all, I asked the gentleman whose store I worked in, is that possible? And he said, yes, absolutely, it's possible. It is something that you are that you kind of have to get used to, because the stones will come and go as they please. And so when I bought this stone, this piece of Labradorite from his store, this is Mountain Mystic in Front Royal in the Shenandoah Valley. Well, actually, it's almost right next to Skyline Drive. And I looked at it, and I had a conversation with it. And I said to it, if you're going to disappear on me, I'm not going to buy you. So please make a commitment right here, right now, and let me know if you're going to stay with me. And it did. It promised to stay. So I effectively gave up the need to mourn the loss of my piece of Labradorite, because I had this as its replacement. Lo and behold, about 2 years ago, this is 2020, I'm in my closet, and at eye level is a shelf, the top of one of my organizer shelves. And as I look in the closet, I see the edge of this looking back at me. And so I kind of stand up on my tiptoes, get up on a chair, and find that the stone has returned. So they disappear, but they can also return to you. So it's really it was an amazing feat for me to get it back. I'm very, very thrilled. I now have a piece of Labradorite for each hand, which is also very exciting. And I am just absolutely thrilled that it did come back to me. The next lovely piece that I wanted to um, share with you is called Lapis Lazuli. This is a stone of royalty, and this little gem came from Jerry's store, Mountain Mystic, in Front Royal, and it has a lot of gold flecks in it. But the almost every pharaoh that you would have seen in entombed in the sarcophagus or one of the face masks would have a piece of lapis, generally at the third eye, because the lapis, again, it expands inner vision. It expands truthful communication. It expands royal virtues. And it also builds inner peace. So it is a symbol of royalty, but it's also a symbol of spirituality. And mostly, there is so much known about the pharaohs, but one of the things that isn't known as well is that they do have a uh, a very spiritual side to them, most of them. Not all of them, but most of them had a very, very spiritual side. This also is the same color as the psychic center of the third eye. So the indigo color that represents the third eye is this color. And it effectively acts on your highest visions, your highest ideals. And if you go to the gem and jewelry show that comes, I know it comes to Washington about 4 times a year, and there's probably 500 vendors, if not more. The last time I was there, I was able to pick up an exquisite lapis necklace that had maybe 50 pieces of lapis attached to it for $145, which I thought was a great find. And I was just very, very pleased to have that. The next crystal that I wanted to go through, and I've had personal experience with this one, is the Herkimer Diamond. And it's double terminated, which means it's pointed at both ends. And when it comes out of the ground, this is what you get. You do not have to polish this stone to get this brilliance. That's why it's called a diamond. It's only found in one place in the United States, and that's Herkimer, New York, not too far from Albany. So I do recommend, if you have the time to do an outing, go there and take a pick and shovel with you. We rented ours. They charged us $10. No big deal. You can actually go for free to excavate these. When I was there with a group of 6 friends, this is the one I found. And I think you will see that it is slightly a different color than this one. It's not quite the same color. This is a yellow Herkimer diamond. I have never seen a yellow Herkimer diamond anywhere, but this stone, and I have washed it hundreds of times just to make sure that the yellow wasn't some kind of discoloration that was in the surface. It's actually in the diamond itself. And the beautiful thing about the Herkimer diamond is when we were there, I'm going to say in the neighborhood of about 10 years ago, so 2012, 2011, somewhere in that neighborhood, the person at the counter brought us out a Herkimer diamond cross that had maybe I think around 280 crystals attached to it, and it stood at least 8 inches tall and at least 6 inches wide, but it was the shape of a cross, and it was found the day of September 11th, 2001, the day the World Trade Center was attacked. So I felt that there was a very, very strong spiritual message attached to the meaning of the World Trade Center being denigrated, being bombed. Well, it wasn't bombed exactly, but having the planes fly into it and having it collapse. So anyway, the Herkimer diamond, very, very special. And it helps us manifest pure white light. It helps us purify our own energies, and it attunes us to the divine essence of ourselves. And it's for all of the chakras relate to it because of the fact that all the chakra colors come from pure white light, and that is what this reflects, pure white light. So that's the Herkimer. The next one that I wanted to go through, and this is a very, very special stone in my life. This is a carnelian, and you can see it looks like a flame. It's unbelievable. And the first time I brought it home, I had the sense of Pele, the goddess of fire, who is also the protector goddess of the Hawaiian Islands. I had the sense that she was contained in this stone, that she had a very special association with this stone. And sure enough, and it was a very protective association. And truly, I did experience Pele's protection because since I channeled every single day, I once channeled a day's lesson that included the word dark forces. Well, there was a group of my friends. They were my spiritual friends. They were my painting friends that held a political belief that was opposite mine. And they accused me of using the term dark forces to denigrate them. And that wasn't my intention at all, but they accused me of that. And so they started to really rag on me, and they started to give me, the email thread that went through. I just read a little bit of it. I mean, it was vicious. It just so attacked me. And like I said, these were spiritual friends as well as other groups that I belonged to. And so to the point where sometimes there would be some weeks where I might see them 3 or 4 times that week. So needless to say, this really hurt. But to kind of get over the pain of this, um, writing this, whatever they thought I had brought forward, I asked for a day of reconciliation. And I put this stone in the middle of the dining room table, and from it on one side and from it on the other side, I just put a series of clear quartz crystals. And I literally felt the protection radiating. It was a 3-hour session. They didn't get what they wanted from me. Apparently, according to one of the gals at after it was all over, said they wanted you to say, "I'm sorry." Well, I had nothing to be sorry about. I had absolutely nothing to say I'm sorry for. So I just let it go. And like I said, I felt the protection of Pelly. And so have always kept her close by, have always kind of kept her around my computer when I type. And especially if I'm doing my uh, channeling, and I absolutely feel her presence. The next one I wanted to go through was this one, and several people told me that this was blue laced agate, and they kept insisting. And then I took it again to the owner of Mountain Mystic, and I asked him. He said the same thing. He said that it was blue lace agate. Blue lace agate typically comes in the very light blue, but this had such a lovely pyramid shape, and it was dark blue. The place that I got this from was Anna, the Hugging Saint from India. And the reason I want to bring her forward is that she comes here every 4th of July and 5th of July. She has been to Washington, I think, for the past 10 years that I've known about her. And she has a gift that she will embrace you as she gives you your hug, and she says, "Welcome, daughter," to you. But she says it in her native tongue. You hear it in your native tongue. And I heard the words, "Welcome, daughter," in Polish, because that was my native tongue. That was since I was born in Poland. And so I've always felt that this beautiful obelisk was very, very special to me. And so I never wanted to be far away from it. And selenite is the last crystal I'm going to cover. This is a lovely, lovely piece of crystal that can be used to cleanse other crystals. You can cleanse them in sunlight. You can cleanse them in moonlight. You can cleanse them with water. You can cleanse them with salt. You can cleanse them in the dirt. But by just placing them on selenite, you can actually cleanse them. This, when I give my Reiki 3 session, I give each person a wand made out of selenite. It's a pretty long wand, kind of stubby, kind of thick, but nevertheless a wand. And I feel that even though it's a much smaller piece than this, they can also use it to cleanse their crystals from. So if you want to be perfectly safe and just feel the need to cleanse your crystals, use this, use selenite. And a long piece like this is not that expensive, uh, considering. I'm not exactly sure, but I think this was under $40. So I felt that was very, very reasonable. But I'm going to stop here. There are more crystals that I would love to share with you, but I think I've kind of run the gamut of those that carry the most special meaning to me. So not exactly sure what is coming next week, because every time I try to guess, my guides give me a different theme. So I will see you on Friday of next week and bring hopefully a new topic for you. Thank you.